out of the last 40 days, it has rained 36 days. And I mean all day type of rain. It's not just little passing spotty thunderstorms. It's lots of rain. And, people usually will ask, a question might be, what is, more important, fire or shelter? And in many instances, it's shelter. Being sheltered from foul weather is extremely, extremely important. Your first shelter is your clothing. So if you mess that up, that could have ill consequences, obviously, right off the bat. There's a saying that says there's no such thing as foul weather, just improper clothing. So dressing properly, we get that out of the way. But furthermore, there really is no, it's more scenario based. Generally speaking, where I live, it can be some wet, cold, windy weather, and drastic changes over short periods of time in the weather. And so in general, when going out, shelter is the first and foremost thing that I am going to set up. Because with shelter, I can get out of the elements, and if need be, ride a storm out and just huddle down and, I guess find that happy place. But shelter in general does not take long. Flying a tarp in this configuration that I have here, this is just a plow point. Setting up a shelter like that with just a few tent pegs. I carve them. You can bring them, but even carving them just takes a couple minutes. And push them into the ground. In all, I leave cordage attached to my tarp. So it's just several minutes for me to set up something that can get me out of the cold, wet environment. So usually you have enough time to get your supplies ready to start a fire. If the weather's already bad and you walk out, well, then it's a no-brainer. You got to set up shelter first anyways. So having said that, you've got to figure out what type of shelter it is that you're going to need and which one you can set up, relatively quick, to get out of any types of foul weather. Like I said here, I did the plow point. In the summer, it may be more of a lean-to, or maybe nothing at all, if I know that there's not going to be any rain. And it's still hard to tell because of, thunder cells popping up like that. And before you know it, it went from, 20% chance of rain to 100, because now you're getting soaked. So what's more important, shelter or fire? It depends what you need to do. If you want to cook food, the fire's more important. But overall, you're going to go set up camp, get your shelter set up first and get that out of the way, because at that point on, like I said, you can take your time and get your fire going, gather your firewood. Usually you set up yourself in an area where you can gather those things easily. There's good wood to be found. You've gathered tinder, or you have tinder already. If you need to take a break and get back inside something, the rain started up again or is driving or whatever, you can still process things. You can still make momentum towards fire. And once that's complete, you're golden. Thanks for watching. Take care.